Welcome to Beyond Investments with your host, Seth Leishman of Ostro Financial Consultants. Information provided is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but its accuracy and completeness are not guaranteed. Neither LPL Financial nor the hosts of this show or accept any liability for the use of the information discussed. Consult with a qualified financial, legal, or tax professional prior to taking any action. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Ostro Financial Consultants, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. Today's guest, Rick Fisher, is a financial advisor with Ostro Financial Consultants, National Planning member SIPC. And now, Beyond Investments, here's your host, Seth Leishman.
Good morning, and welcome to Beyond Investments here on News Talk KNCO AM 830. Seth Leishman and Rick Fisher from Ostro Financial.
Morning, folks.
We are excited because
we finally have some really nice weather.
a full week of good weather.
A full week of good weather.
It's just one of those things where you walk outside in the morning and it just feels good to start the day off nice.
Except for one thing.
What's that?
Pollen on your car.
That is true. My car.
I forgot how much
out.
I loathe pollen on the car.
Oh, it's yellow. Just the whole car is covered. It's just yellow.
If your car's yellow, that's fine.
Right.
But if it's dark color like ours,
That's right.
yeah, you see it even from a distance. And you go,
Yes.
I just watched it yesterday.
I know.
And
Yes.
speaking of cars, so we have a 3-car garage.
Yes.
2 cars in it. The third one for storage and trash cans, and you know how it goes.
That's
Wood,
right.
whatever.
Of course.
So the third car is outside.
Yes.
And for some reason, and it's been out there for months, okay? But over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been enjoying my other car.
Yep.
So I go out because we're going to go down the hill. And my wife laughs about this, but some bird is doing his business not on just one of the side mirrors.
On both?
On both.
Oh, man.
And my wife would joke that this was a sick bird because of the volume.
Yes. Yes.
So we took it to 3 car washes to finally get it all off.
Yes.
And then it was only parked in that same place for 2 days.
Covered
And
again?
it covered again on both sides. So then I finally caught the bird. It's a robin. I thought it would be something much bigger.
Yes.
And so my wife said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, maybe I'll get towels and I'll put towels over the mirrors." "So you're going to wash towels every day?" she said. She said, "Why not get a car cover?" And I go, "Well, most car covers are made for indoors."
Yeah. Yeah. And they're paid to wash too. I'd rather
they're
wash
expensive.
I'd rather wash the towels than a car cover.
And again, they're expensive.
And very expensive.
So I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's the thing when I drive, I can't drive it like this. I have to go, if I get in the car and it's got all that white stuff,
Yes.
I've got to go straight to, because it's not like a little trim, matching.
Right.
Anyway, so that was kind of a frustration.
Airsoft gun.
Airsoft. If I catch him again, yeah.
So it doesn't kill it, but it'll deter it.
Yes. Or
Just saying.
Anyway, so I'd never had that kind of issue happen before, so I thought that was kind of unique.
That is very unique. Yes, that they just like that spot apparently.
But I will take this good weather over poor weather.
Absolutely.
We needed it. I'm glad. And our pond is full and our stream is running again since we had the tree people come out. So we lost a tree during the storm.
Yes, you did.
And it landed right in our stream and took out, the fence bill the repair bill is quite large.
It's going to be large.
And we're actually going to talk about insurance and homeowners and when to claim, when not to claim.
That'll be part of our topic today.
I took lots of video of the skid, what they call it?
Skid steer.
Skid steer.
Yes.
Pulling these logs out, moving them, and just the artistry, getting them in the truck. And
So-
I had them hauled. I have enough wood, so I said, I'll pay the extra money. Please haul this off.
Get the wood out of here. Yes. Instead of leaving the big old trunk and
Exactly.
or rounds,
Right.
Bucking it up into rounds or whatever.
Right. I've got plenty of pine. I just need some oak. But,
Yes.
And there's more trees. And
There always are.
There are always more trees.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, let's dive into some trivia this week.
Alrighty.
What do we got for us?
Okay, so for this week, we've got 1991, the Business Cycle Dating Committee of the National Bureau for Economic Research.
Okay.
That's a mouthful. The official arbiter of the nation's economic recessions and expansions, finally, so this is 1991, April of 91, finally declares that a recession has begun in July of 1990.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Way behind.
And they usually are.
Way behind.
The first 1961, the first patent for an integrated circuit is awarded to Fairchild Semiconductor's Robert Noyce, who later co-founds Intel Corp with Gordon Moore.
Oh, very nice.
1960. That's before I was born.
Yes,
that's how long ago that was.
And look how far that's come.
I know, absolutely.
I mean, amazing what is out there now in that period of time.
1931. Fishon and Company, one of Wall Street's largest and most prestigious brokerage firms, which we've never heard of,
right,
goes bust. Hence why we've never heard of them. With $40 million in liabilities, the biggest failure of a brokerage firm yet on record. The main reason they bet much money on its own hot new media issues it helped underwrite, including General Theaters Equipment and Fox Films. Those securities have lost up to over 57% of their value in the preceding 12 months.
Ooh, ouch.
1926, the era of talkies begins.
Oh.
As AT&T, Western Electric, and Bell Labs announced that they have developed a device to provide, quote, perfect automatic music for movies. 1926.
In 1926.
And people, I think our kids probably don't know that they had movies without sound.
Right. Yes.
Have you ever seen a non-talkie movie in a silent film?
I have. Yes, I have. Well, I shouldn't say that. As with many, my attention span was not long enough to last the entire movie.
So you've seen,
I think I've watched about an hour or so of something.
I understand.
Yeah. Charlie Chaplin, that kind of thing.
Yeah. 1874, Guillermo Marconi, son of an aristocratic Italian father and Irish mother, is born in Bologna, Italy. In 1901, he sends out the first radio signals across the Atlantic, ushering in the era of wireless communication.
In Bologna.
Bologna. Yeah.
An old episode of Top Gear, which you and I know very well, fans of the car show. Richard Hammond went to Bologna, Italy, and he thought that was the origination of spaghetti bolognese.
Ah, okay. Well, and I would think
went
that
to multiple restaurants, and they said, "We have no idea what you're talking about."
Of course. Looking on to sports, 1876, the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, yes.
Had their first National League game where they beat the Louisville 4-0. The first National League shutout ever.
Wow.
There was baseball leagues before 1876, but
yes,
they were kind of. Anyways, 1977. Watch it. Cincinnati Reds tie a record of 12 runs in the fifth inning, beating the Braves 23-9.
Wow.
12 runs in one inning. That's a lot. 1982. We're moving into music now.
Okay.
Paul McCartney and Steve Wonder were at number 1 in the UK charts with Ebony and Ivory. It was Paul McCartney's. How many number ones do you think he had up to that point?
Including with the Beatles?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I had to be 50.
Well, not that many. 24.
Oh, 24. Okay.
Yeah, this was McCartney's 24th number 1 single as a songwriter, which would
mean
okay. It would be with all groups.
Yes.
The title was inspired by McCartney's hearing Spike Mulligan say black notes, white notes, and you need to play the two to make harmony, folks. It was later named as the 10th worst song of all time by Blender magazine.
Oh, dear.
And in 2007 was named the worst duet in history by BBC Six music listeners. It's an okay song.
Yeah.
But, it's a little, anyways. 1970, the Jackson 5 started a 2-week run at number 1 in the U.S. singles chart with ABC. It was the group's second number 1 hit and number 8 hit in the UK. And then lastly, for music, we've got Elvis Presley in 1960. Started a 4-week run at number 1 on his U.S. singles chart with Stuck on You, one of my favorite Elvis songs.
Yep.
His first hit single after his 2-year stint in the U.S. Army. I did not know that.
Okay.
It became his first number 1 single of the 1960s and 13th overall.
Did you watch the recent movie?
Yes, I did. I liked it.
I thought they did a pretty good job. Yeah.
My only critique was there could have been more music in it.
I would agree. I would agree with that. Yes. Absolutely. Kind of like the Bohemian Rhapsody, which was around Queen and everything like that. You still kind of go, I wish we had a little bit more music in it.
Moving on to automobiles, another passion of ours.
Yes.
The Ford GT40 made its public track debut.
Oh.
Track debut.
Debut.
And that was it.
That's an iconic car.
Oh, it is an iconic car. We love the movie Ford versus Ferrari. If you haven't seen it, you don't even. My wife couldn't care less about cars.
Yes,
and she absolutely loves that movie.
That's a great movie.
It's a great story.
Yes,
it's just a wonderful story.
Yeah. I've watched it over and over. It's great. It's great. And I mean, I am a car guy, so
yeah. It's fun to watch. Speaking of car shows, I actually did my first car show. So
yes,
with the purchase of the Mustang I joined the Sacramento Mustang Club.
Very nice.
And they had a car show. We had 400 cars out at La Casa Robles High School down in, I think it's Rancho Cordova or Carmichael, somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And there was about 20 of us that brought their Mustangs. They're part of the club. There were some really cool cars there.
400 cars though. That's a good size show.
Yeah. So it. I think it raised some good money for the school.
Yeah.
And I didn't win anything.
That's okay.
But a couple of our group did win.
Oh, fantastic.
And so that was my first car show. It was fun.
That's pretty fun. That would be fun. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk today when we come back we're going to talk about
college planning and college
funding,
and
some homeowners
insurance tips and things to look out for.
Absolutely. You're listening to Beyond Investments right here on News Talk AM 830.
Today's guest, Rick Fisher, is a financial advisor with Austro Financial Consultants, National Planning Member SIPC.
Welcome back to Beyond Investments here on News Talk KNCO AM 830. Rick, let's we got I mean, for a lot of kids, there's maybe a month and a half left of school, and especially for the senior class of 2023, possibly heading off to bigger pastures, which might include college, might include other things out there. Let's talk a little bit about college planning, college funding.
Or you could call it educational.
Maybe educational funding. That's a great way to describe that. Yes, absolutely.
I think we're both proponents of a good, solid, well-diversified, solid education.
Absolutely.
At least through high school. And but
you got to get through that.
Yes,
that's a given.
And we could sit and have a debate of whether teaching in high school, but that's not for this discussion.
Yeah, we'll save that for another time.
Yes,
on another channel.
Exactly.
But having a we want to get through. I mean, high school's that's of course the bare minimum. And then it's going to come, beyond that. When we think about the costs, right? You could be room and board, even at a UC Merced. You're running $35,000 a year.
I know.
And private schools could be double and triple that per year, maybe even quadruple that per year. So, although I kind of brought it up with the starting off by talking about the senior class of 2023, a little too late to do some college funding planning.
Right.
If your child's already a senior, we want to be doing this a little earlier, hopefully.
Well, hopefully you start,
best case scenario.
When it comes to like my grandchildren and what I did with my kids,
as
soon as they had a social security number, I was opening some sort of an account.
Something. Yes.
And I might have been funding it with $25 a month.
Yeah.
I might have been hitting up parents and grandparents to put some real money into it.
That's right.
They shared that same importance of education.
Yeah.
Because as we've said so many times, it's not timing the market, it's timing the market. And when you're putting those early dollars in, you have them, really aggressive because you want those to grow.
Yeah.
And if you're adding money every month, it takes a decade, or not a decade and a half, to get some significant money going.
That's right.
So waiting is really not an option.
No, you really don't want to wait. Ideally, is start early. You could start small, early. The key with starting is the early part of that, as early as you can.
Invest early, invest often.
Invest early, invest often. That's a great.
That's why that dollar cost averaging is,
That's right.
It's help. And then as you get older and you're making more money, and it is tough for parents because there are so many things we need to save for.
Yes.
When you're newly married, you got to save for a house. Well, you don't have to, but you're saving for
Could
a house.
Be a goal. Yep.
You're saving for retirement.
Yep.
Saving for education. Saving for possibly having to take care of your own parents.
Yes.
And then for also it's saving for all these things is we know it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy, but setting a goal and starting as early as you can is going to be always a good thing. And when we think about and you're right, maybe we shouldn't phrase it as college funding or college planning, because there's a lot of careers and a lot of great things out there that aren't college focused, but can still be, if you've set aside money for your child or grandchildren, even for education, there are things out there, of course you want to learn more about the details, but, so full disclosure, we're not going to go into too much detail about the every little nuance of these types of things, but we'll hit up on the in the big picture. 529 plans,
right?
A 529, funding plan that doesn't have to be college. It can be spent for anything. Well, for the next couple of years, anything from high school forward.
Right.
If it reverts back to the old rules, it'll go to post high school education.
Right.
But it's education. Does not have to be university or college.
Exactly.
So you think about, there's a lot of great trade schools, a lot of great trades and different things you can do.
We need people in the trades. I mean, the trades are extremely important. And, because of technology, a lot of those trades are not as simplistic as they used to be. I mean, there would be a craft in auto mechanics. You needed a wrench. There would be certain things. Now it's all computers.
It's so computer driven and computer focused.
And there are technical schools for if you want to become, an automotive mechanic or airplane or whatever.
That's right.
You don't go to a 4-year college for that. You go to a specific technical school that is going to teach you to get all that hands-on knowledge, whether it be coding or reading or actually, using tools and fixing cars the old-fashioned way.
Absolutely. And we don't have enough people going into those, which is driving up the costs.
Absolutely.
Really. So considering those types of careers, I mean, just go around and pull an average for auto mechanic work per hour, right? I mean, you're talking, I don't think I've seen a shop under $100 an hour. I think they're almost all over $100 an hour now at this point, right? And
probably half of that's probably going to that laborer.
Yeah, and call your electrician or call your plumber.
Yep,
$100+ an hour for all those types of trades and all those things. You can make very good money.
But I think we should talk about is so our kids as they're growing up, they'll show interest in certain things.
That's right.
Okay, so if you have a child that loves to build things. Keep an eye on that. And then because at some point they're going to have to make a decision of what they want to do to support themselves in life.
Yeah.
They may not know. Some kids, they know. From the time they're 5 years old, they know exactly what they want to be. They're very driven.
That's right.
And that's great. But a lot of times I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a clue.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And, it took some time and, it took probably 2 or 3 jobs to say, well, I don't want to do this. I'm not cut out for that.
Yeah.
And you kind of fall into it. But if you put some time into the decision on, do I want to become a doctor or a lawyer, or do I want to start my own business?
That's right.
I think entrepreneurs are kind of born. I don't know if you can make one. They just have that drive they have an idea, they have a vision, they want to achieve something, and they just go for it.
And then they go for it. Yes.
But if you're not that way,
that's okay too.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things out there. That you can be doing. One of the best things, when you think about the kids graduating from high school, not maybe knowing exactly what they want to do, of course, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you're talking about an 18-year-old kid, technically legal adult, but kid in our eyes. Making a decision that might be their career for possibly the next 40 years, right? Could be or more, 50 years. It's okay that you might take a year or two, maybe go to community college,
right?
And survey a ton of different subjects. Find things that you're interested in, and that'll help drive maybe what you want to do for your career. And it's a lot cheaper way to do it when you think about community college versus jumping right to that 4-year university where you're going to spend the first year or two just doing general ed anyways.
Exactly. And you never, depending on your economic background, you may have to work while you're going to school.
Yeah.
But you know what? Especially in this day, if work experience is huge.
It is.
And even in today, because of the labor shortage, you don't maybe need that experience.
Yeah.
Well, they'll train you without it. But that way, like a lot of people say, I'm out of school, I have no experience, how can I get a job?
Yeah.
This is the perfect environment because you can try different things.
That's right.
Get that experience. Then once you've gotten that track record, show that you're a hard worker, you can learn. Employers will hire you in a heartbeat.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Absolutely in a heartbeat. labor rates have gotten up there where
you can make,
you're going to make some money while you're doing it. Maybe end up with a lot less college debt, maybe. You know,
right.
if you end up going the college route or even trade school route where you don't need to fund it so much with, student loans.
Or let's say you find yourself in the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
You're working, you start as a busboy, okay?
Yep.
And you work your way up to a hostess and then a waiter and you find out you really like that business.
Yeah.
You can work your way up and let's say I don't want to be a cook. I want to be on the managing side.
Yeah.
Depending on your employer, they might say, we'll train you.
Yeah, we'll train you in this.
We'll train you in this if you stay with us. And if they, so we will pay for a college course, a business course, or a management course.
That's right.
It's really about getting out started in that and workplace and finding out where your path is. It may be, again, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, 4-year college and graduate school is probably, it's going to be in your future. That's just the way it works.
It's a necessity at that point. But yeah, I mean, you think about companies like In-N-Out. I read a great article about In-N-Out. They have their whole In-N-Out University that they call it, which is their management program. You've got a store manager at In-N-Out. Let's say, for example, down in Auburn, right? The average manager of In-N-Out makes well over $150,000 a year.
And they're probably under 35 years old.
Because
every time I go in there, and the older I get, those kids seem to get younger and younger.
They do. But they say, you don't have to come with 10 years of working in a restaurant scenario, situation to step into this and to be on a track. It might take you 10 years to do it total, but you don't have to come with already 10 years experience.
Exactly.
They're, these types of businesses and entities are looking for people that they can train in their methodology and their process and things like that. And they pay well. They pay well.
One thing with In-N-Out is that it's not easy to get a job there.
Correct.
If you get in at In-N-Out, then you've got what they're looking for, but not everyone has that.
Yes. There's a great, in our eyes, from experience, we've seen some great employers out there, right? That end up with Costco's one of them. Mm-hmm. They take such good care of their employees. I mean, I've had clients who have worked for Costco in the front, up in the front. They never made it. They never wanted to be manager. They said, "This is what I love to do." They've been there for 25, 30 years,
right?
Because they say they take such good care of me. Mm-hmm. I don't have any desire to go anywhere else because it would only be a downgrade in job. Right. So, and there's great companies out there that do that, that really take good care of their employees. And so we think about college funding again, it might be through student loans though. You might need to do that, go that route and fund things. But I've always been a proponent because you look at statistics. That statistically, if all you do is go to school full time and you don't work at all, even if you don't need to work, you say your parents or grandparents are helping out. Statistically, the GPA of students who work on average a part-time job 20 hours a week, their GPA is like 20% better than those that don't work at all. And then also it's better than those that work full time. It's kind of an interesting statistic. It's been around for a long time. And that is, if you work a part-time job while you're going to school, whether you need the money or not, you'll actually do a better job with your grades.
That makes sense to me because I was one who did not work. I worked during the summer, but not during the college year. And that time where I could have been working and learning some life skills and just the whole culture of a job.
Right.
I was partying instead.
Goofing off, exactly.
Yeah, and so my grades suffered because I was goofing off.
Correct.
Where if you're working and you can't really afford to drop the ball, you're just always on.
Right. You got it.
And there might be a little bit of excitement. I learned this today. Oh, it matches what I'm learning in school.
That's right. Absolutely. You got to prioritize your time.
Exactly.
And so I think that that's a really good statistic. I've already told all of my kids, even though they're still years away from, post high school stuff.
Right.
But although they're getting pretty close, my oldest will be a junior here coming up. Yeah. So, but they all know if you go to college, yes, your parents are going to help you out, but there is an expectation that you will work a part-time job. Partially because I want them to get good grades, and I know statistically they will get better grades if they do.
Plus, generally, you're not taking a full load. So,
exactly.
it used to be like 5 classes was a full load, and so it would be hard to work and do. So this way, you're taking 3. It might take longer to graduate, but then again, you have that time.
Yes.
To spread out your studies and work where it's not overly burdensome.
That's right.
And you're killing kind of two birds with one stone.
You're kind of killing two birds with one stone.
And if it takes you an extra year or a semester,
it should only take one semester is what.
So many people worry about. I mean, to be in your 20s, you have years to give when you're young.
That's right. Yeah.
When you become my age, maybe you're not going to give up those years so much.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, it's a great topic today. Great discussion, especially pertinent as my kids are getting up there, getting closer. And I'm sure all of our listeners, we've got kids and grandkids who have or will be going through a lot of this process there and thinking about what about funding and what are some of the best options out there. Again, I'll just reiterate, I'm such a huge fan of the junior college program
or trade school.
Trade school. I follow the junior college program. I went 2 years of junior college and learned about what I wanted to do. Definitely realized I do not want to go to med school. I don't want to be around a bunch of sick kids all day long when I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. See,
and then I realized, that's right. This is not even close to what I want to do. So I think it's a great route. I think it's a wonderful system, and it provides a lot of great opportunities for learning and growing for kids these days. Well, as always, we wanted to let you know you can go to our website at austriofinancial.com. You can learn a little bit more about us, what we do. And as always, you can also give us a call at 273-4425. Come experience the difference when you think beyond investments.
Bye, folks.
Information provided is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but its accuracy and completeness are not guaranteed. Neither LPL Financial nor the hosts of this show or accept any liability for the use of the information discussed. Consult with a qualified financial, legal, or tax professional prior to taking any action. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Austro Financial Consultants, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.